I've thought about this so much, like how to toss, because I'm like, do we toss with two hands? Do we
How did you
toss
know
handless?
that was what I was going to say?
I will totally give you a toss session. I've thought about this because I'm like trying to get into the internal life of Glinda.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tea Time. For this episode, let us be glad, let us be grateful. And you know what? Let us rejoicify, because today we have Glinda herself in the studio. I'm joined by Emma Flynn, who recently made her spectacular Broadway debut as a principal in Wicked at the Gershwin Theater. We go deep into her whirlwind journey, from being a nanny and waiting for a sign from above, or in her case, also a sign from Dan Michike, to her time on the West End, and her absolutely wild audition story and the grit required for the Broadway replacement process. We also discuss how the encouragement and generosity of her community made her biggest dreams come true. And yes, she even gave me a masterclass on the iconic toss. We also take a heart-centered detour into her fostering initiative, and as a fellow dog lover, I am absolutely thrillified to give you the scoop. Whether you're an aspiring performer, a seasoned professional, or a theater superfan, grab your tea, because this is a conversation you do not want to miss. Here is the brilliant Emma Flynn.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome to Tea Time with Mikayla. I am Mikayla, and this is Tea Time, and this is Emma Flynn.
Hi guys, I'm so happy to be here. For me,
You.
it's technically coffee time.
Oh, it's actually coffee time for me too. Iced coffee in this cup. It's
Mm-hmm.
fine. We're going to get through. Yay, I'm so happy to have you on the show.
I am so happy to be here.
So are you in Glinda mode yet, or are you in Emma mode because it's your day off?
I mean, they're not that different, if I'm totally honest. I feel like me and Glinda are closer than I'm even comfortable being. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, she is just inside of me, isn't she? But I'm always a little bit in Glinda mode nowadays. And I'm always a little bit in share mode and,
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about all of that. I'm curious, what do you do on your day off?
Okay, I love to sleep as late as humanly possible. My days off lately have been quite full, which is exciting, of beautiful things like seeing people's shows and supporting my friends, which has been amazing. But today, my day off consists of loving my foster dog, Scout. Shout out to everybody who fosters and adopts out there. This morning, we woke up, we went for a long walk in Central Park. We played fetch. It was a really lovely day. And the great thing about fostering dogs as like a hobby is that they can't speak. So it's okay if I'm on vocal rest. I do I do have to talk like a little bit to them, but pretty much I'm silent when I'm with the dogs, and it's just like a great way to fill my time. But I love going for walks with the dog. I just love like being calm on my day off and decompressing. Fostering's been kind of taking up the other half of my life.
Yes.
So I think that's it.
Well, I love that you're using your platform for good. Tell me more about how you got into fostering. Had you done it before Wicked, or had you always wanted to?
I've always wanted my own personal dog, but it's just hard with the long term, like not knowing what's going to be the next thing, what country I'm going to be in, everything like that. And I love dogs. And I was like, I've been thinking so much about the gift that is the platform of Wicked.
Yes.
And I used to pray like, God, if you give me like a Broadway show, I promise I'll do something good with it. And now I feel like I was just in the middle of the night, like a couple of months ago, just being like, I just was so overwhelmed by just life. And I was like, I just wish I had just like a little dog or something, like, just something to like nurture and love. And then I was just like, it would be great to foster and just see how I do. And then when I got my first foster, I just like fell in love with him. And also like with the process of fostering, the first couple days are really hard, but then you get to watch the dog come out of their shell and like show their true personalities and learn to love you and trust you. And then you have the very hard thing, which is giving the dog to its new family. But it's so incredible, and I'm confident that I would not have had as many applicants for this dog if I hadn't had the gift of Wicked and the platform that Wicked's given me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, I think in a time where everything is so incredibly hard in our world right now, I think it's such a blessing to be employed.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing to like be able to have the means to give to something. And so I think as my career continues, I think more and more about like, okay, how can I be charitable as I'm given this blessing that is employment? I just hope that I can get as many dogs to their families as possible this year. I already have an applicant for Scout,
Oh
which
my
is so incredible,
gosh.
and they're a great family. And I'm actually going to meet them right after this.
Oh my
So it's
gosh.
just, it's been the greatest joy. And also, Wicked is about saving the animals.
Liter How did I
And
not put that together until just now?
it felt really meaningful, and it feels really meaningful every day, and it's really taken me out of myself and my ego, which is
Yes.
really important, I
Mhm.
think, in this career because it can be so about yourself, and it's
True.
almost like suffocating how much it can be about yourself.
Mm.
And so to be able to give to this little thing that needs me and is so, scared and transitioning and going through so much, and then to be able to let them decompress and love them and show them that, people are trustworthy. It's just
Yes.
it's a great thing.
Oh
It's
my
blessed me so much.
gosh.
I could talk about it all day, but
And,
I'll
like, I
spare
literally
you.
would. I know, don't spare me.
But I'm watching him right now on the monitor, and
So,
he's
what
doing
is he
great.
still by the door?
He is. He's just sleeping by the door.
He wants to sponsor me? How long is the commitment for each dog? Is there a time
Yeah.
limit or just until they find an owner?
Well, the limit really, there's usually a 2 or 3 week minimum because for dogs, it's like 3 days to decompress, 3 weeks to kind of come out of their shell, and then 3 months to be back to their normal selves.
So
So
like me.
we do try to
After
give
a
them,
show.
I know we do try to give them at least, 2 to 3 weeks to kind of chill because they've been through so much. Like these dogs specifically come up from Texas.
Okay.
And so they're on a van traveling up from Texas in crates, and they come,
Oh.
this is terrible, but they come just like completely filthy.
Oh, no, I hear you.
And you have to, give them a good rinse off with some Dawn dish soap. They've gone through so much, and then you don't know where they came from. They could have been strays. They could have been owner surrender, which is just, heartbreaking, but it happens all the time. So yeah, but it's just amazing. And I highly recommend if you're thinking about getting a dog, it's a 2-week commitment that could just completely change your life. And also maybe open your heart up to, giving back in a way that you never imagined. Because it doesn't take as much monetary means as you think. It just takes a lot of your heart and I know. It just takes a lot of love and patience and nurturing, which I think is just good for us to practice.
Yes. And that's actually great to know because I think people think it's more of a commitment than it actually may be to foster a dog. Like
Yeah.
so many performers, like I'm in the same bucket. I love dogs so much.
When I started to foster, I was really open about the fact that I was starting for the first time with nothing. So many people, oh my gosh, I could cry. People in my building, my neighbors, I love New York City. They all came together. They brought me food, treats, toys,
Oh my God.
pee pads, leashes, harnesses. Like people showed up for me in ways that were so beautiful. Everything about life the past 2 years has just been generosity after generosity. My whole story is about people being generous. And so it's just been amazing. Like even as I'm fostering this dog, I'm just amazed by the generosity of my neighbors, the people in my life, my friends showing up to help me with the dog, to watch the dog for me, to it really, as long as you love that baby, they're going to be happy.
You gotta love the babies.
Anyways, back to Broadway, but that's
No.
just my little spiel.
I love the spiel. Okay, well, this is actually a fun segue talking about support and your team. We could go two ways with questions like who's on your team, who are your friends, your supporters, slash, I feel like you've gotten into the Dan story a bit, but I work with Dan. I love him. So I want to talk about that too.
Well, that's been the whole story. I feel my entire journey has been built on just people's incredible generosity, like Dan's incredible generosity, not knowing me, not even knowing anything about me, but seeing my information and just bring me in for a lesson even. Most music directors on Broadway are so busy and they probably get a million inquiries. So it was just, I still to this day can't believe that, he was kind enough to do that and then ultimately to help me on my journey to Wicked. And also the people at Tara Rubin Casting who were casting Clueless, Mary Sugarman, just taking a chance on a person, at an EPA and bringing them in for this incredible project that changed my life. It's amazing. And I think in my own personal life, my husband's generosity coming wherever I need to go and being my support system, my parents, my family, my best friends, Katie and Emily, and just all my friends, Juliana and Michael, and even my personal, my agents and manager, everybody in my life really is an incredibly generous person. And I think that makes me want to be more generous and help the next person elevate because, I always say, like, I wouldn't be here without the incredible generosity of others.
Right.
And I think it teaches you the kind of person that you want to be known as in the industry. And of course, like, you know, there are still hard days, but then it kind of every time I think about it, it reminds me why I'm doing this. And even the experience of Wicked, getting to play Glinda, it's of course like a dream come true for me. Personally, like, I never thought that I would get to do this. Like, I
Yeah.
genuinely never thought that I would ever get to do this and experience this, and it's, like, seriously, every day, it's like Christmas. But the even deeper part of it is, like, it's such a amazing thing for the people around me to get to experience too. And,
Mm-hmm.
like, even just to bring the kids that I used to nanny full time backstage. I had one
God.
of the girls, I actually lived with them for a while when I was between apartments and jobs and all this stuff. They actually allowed me to stay with them in their home when I couldn't. I remember I think I couldn't afford to move back to my apartment. And I was like, can I
Heard.
just live with you guys? And they said yes.
Yeah.
And so I lived with them and the little girl I was nannying came backstage when I was at Wicked, and she, like, put on my ball gown. I don't know if that's allowed, so
Stop. Oh my God.
but it's, for the sake of how just incredible that was to witness, it
Yeah.
was like, there's my little person that I got such a part in raising, and now she's putting on the gown of my dream role, like my little bubble dress, and it's amazing, all the connections in my life. I just feel like everything has been just so intentional, and for a long time, my life was a waiting game,
Yeah.
and that's really hard. But the wait was, if I think about all the blessings I have now, I'm so glad that it didn't happen then. I'm so
Right.
glad I had this incredible journey, because then I know everything that's happening in my life, it feels so intentional, and it feels
Mhm.
like a really big blessing, and I'm aware of it now, more aware of it than I think I would have been if I was like straight out of college. And not that that's a
Right.
bad thing. It's a beautiful thing when that happens to people. But I think for me, it's like I've grown on this journey, and all the things that happened to me built me into this person that now I can, like, truly appreciate this.
Yes.
So
That makes so much sense. And it's beautiful too. Like, we didn't know each other, but my friend Everton, the second he found out that you booked, he is someone that's always going to root for everyone's success. He's talking about you in rooms that you're not in, celebrating you. But it sounds like that is your whole friend group and your whole team. And that is what everyone really wishes for. And that
Yeah.
speaks more to you as a performer, as a person. Like,
thank you.
you're the kind of person people want to work with.
Oh,
and that's beautiful because
I hope so.
you just see that in the way that you're celebrated for this huge win.
I was
right?
like really blown away. Like, my opening night in Wicked was March 3rd, and that was like such a personally significant day. And quite literally everyone I knew was there. It was like it felt like a wedding day. It was like
Mhm.
the most incredible experience. Just all the love that was poured into me that day. It seriously changed me, like, as a person, just to see, you second guess yourself so much as an actor. You can go to such, I think, like, dark places, but then
Yeah.
just to come out of stage door and see everyone I've ever, loved there supporting me. It was just, I was so thankful. And even just like coming down the bubble for the first time.
Wait, tell me about that moment. Are you up in the fly? Can you see the audience before they can see you? Like, what's happening?
I can a little bit. I can see
Okay.
like 2 rows.
Okay.
If I look down. I was so nervous that day. But there's a message that someone left up there for me, and it's a picture of the whole cast, and it's like, don't worry, we are literally all down here to catch you
Oh
if
my
you fall. And it just, hearing the downbeat of Wicked, the dun,
Womp.
dun, 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 dun,
Yes.
every day, I just get chills. And
Yeah.
I'm always nervous, every day, and I had to learn how to like center. But the first night, I just remember how electric the audience was, and it just gave me such confidence.
Mhm.
And ever since then, it's just like, it really has never gone away. I feel like every day when I'm in the bubble and I hear the downbeat, I'm like, holy crap, like, I'm going in.
Yes.
And it feels like you really are going to do this giant thing every single night in front of 2,000 people and, this like iconic show. And I feel the weight of that
Yes.
for sure.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's really fun too. Last time I was there, I think actually it was your first week the last time I was there.
Oh,
So yeah, which yay. Yeah, you did such a good
Whoa.
job. Yay. But it's always really fun to see Dan. I know he's not there anymore, but like the conducting were just a little whoosh, like poof. I was
oh
like,
gosh, it's so awesome.
I love it.
I've always wanted to sit. Dan offered this to me, and I never had the time to make it happen, but like sit in the orchestra and watch him conduct and like watch what happens in the orchestra, because it's just
Right. Because
so-
otherwise you're just locked in on the monitors because
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got to like look out, right?
Oh yeah. It's so crazy. But yeah, it's incredible. And everybody at Wicked is like the best of the best, which is also crazy. Because when I look at, I'm like, you're the best at what you do. And
Mhm.
that's crazy and so cool. And even the dressers, the wig people,
Yeah.
everybody,
Oh
it's
my God,
like
yes.
incredible.
So tell me, what was the first moment where you processed that you are playing this role? Maybe during rehearsals or trying on costumes. When did it
Yeah.
fully click for you?
I don't know if it has.
Okay.
I actually think about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
do I know what I'm doing? Like,
Yes, you
do I
do.
realize that I am doing Wicked? It's crazy. And to this day, I will be like, there's no way that they let me do this. Like,
Aw.
it's so cool. And it's so, yeah, no, I don't think I ever processed it. I will say when I first got the call, I remember processing it even a little bit that day. Cause I was just like, if this is real, because I thought it was a prank call at first. I was like, there's no
No.
way that they're actually giving me this role. But I was like, if this is real, this is the craziest thing ever. And I
Yeah.
remember thinking, like, I'm going to be at the Gershwin. Like, I used to walk by the Gershwin and be like, oh, it'd be
Mhm.
so cool to work there.
Yes.
And then a little bit, when you go to your first fitting, you're like, oh my gosh, it's happening. But I still can't believe that I'm doing it. And I still don't know if I fully processed it.
That's fair. Well, sometimes it's such a whirlwind. I haven't been in your shoes like that, but just being able to process something that has brought you so much joy and has been such a dream, but then you're
Mhm.
in like business practical mode. And
Mhm.
I'm sure there's a lot to learn. And well, how long did you have? What was your rehearsal process like for this?
Oh gosh, I don't
How long?
remember. I
That
feel like
and
it
that's
was
okay.
like 3 weeks.
Okay. So that's a lot. And then probably press, right?
Yeah.
So that's a lot. I feel like when you put your business hat on, it's like you're not, at least for me, I am present, but I just am very pragmatic.
Yeah.
And then you don't push the emotions aside, but it's like you're just using a different side of your brain.
Yeah, because you're in rehearsal and then you realize, like, oh, wow, this is just like all the other rehearsals I've been in.
Right.
Or like, it's hard to believe that it's Wicked on Broadway because the rehearsal process is like kind of the same or similar to things that you've done in the past. And I think the only thing that's a little bit different is it is like a really fast thing.
Mhm.
You have your rehearsal 2 times.
Okay.
And then you have your put in.
Mhm.
And then, so it's a little bit more isolated of an experience replacing
Right.
than it is building a show from scratch or starting a show with an entire ensemble. Like when you're replacing, it's a little bit more like you and the stage manager.
Yep.
Which
Okay.
feels kind of bizarre because you're like, wait, am I going to be doing this with everyone? But then,
Yeah.
after your first put in, you're like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And I think the thing that helps is just knowing that it's literally the same as any other job that you've ever done. Just
Mhm.
you walk out of the stage door on 51st Street,
Yes.
and I think
Mhm.
actually Ellen said that to me. Ellen, who plays Madame Morble, she said it's community theater that has a stage door on 51st Street.
Wow.
And when she said that, it really helped me,
Yeah.
ground myself and be like, oh yeah, I know actually what I'm doing and I don't need to second guess my knowledge and my skill. It's all not the exact same, but it's like all the same,
Yeah.
and you can believe in yourself that way, that even though it's bright and shiny and new, and it's a big thing to have your Broadway debut be like a principal,
Yes.
especially Glinda, because it's like so many
Yes.
expectations and so many things. And if you think about that, you'll go crazy. But if you
Mhm.
think about it being like, I am doing this show that, you know, it could be anywhere, but it just happens to open up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me more about your audition process, and you can go into as much of like, what do you think going through this audition process? You went in for the audition with Dan, and then
Yeah.
that
So
happened, and then
3 years ago, 3 years ago, I first met Dan because his neighbor gave him my information, which was like so
I
crazy.
love that.
And he was like, have you ever been seen for Glinda? And I was like, no. I was like, I've never been seen for anything on Broadway practically. And
Mhm.
definitely not Glinda. So he brought me in and it was my first big audition.
Yeah,
And
and
I
it was in person.
And it was in
Oh my
person.
God.
And actually, Lisa wasn't even there. It was just Dan and I think somebody from Telsey Casting. So it was
Okay.
like really
Like,
chill.
yeah.
And I think they had set up a camera, but I was so nervous and I was so green that I think I walked in and I just couldn't even breathe.
Mhm.
When you like lose your breath because you're so nervous and then you're
Yes.
trying to sing soprano, but literally you can't.
Yes. It's like a
So,
hope and a prayer when your throat locks up.
oh my gosh. And I will say, since then, I have worked with Matt Farnsworth, who's
I work with him too.
he's an
Are you with
incredible-
Matt or
Yeah.
with? Okay. Yes.
So I'm with Matt, and Matt has completely changed my life and my
Yeah.
voice. He's like an incredible mentor, but he's also just an incredible voice teacher.
Yeah.
And he opened up my soprano with me over the last 3 years. And I think he's the reason that I can do this show.
I
Do you know
love
what I
that.
mean?
I
And
do.
Dan actually introduced me to him.
Dan is amazing.
I
I
know.
love him so much.
So I owe so much of my life to Dan. Like, I
Yes.
really do. And I just think, I don't know that I would be here without him. I don't think I would. I don't think I would be here without Dan. I don't think I would be here without Matt.
Mhm.
Both of them have changed my life, like, deeply, and also my voice a lot.
Yes.
So, like, my first audition, I was so nervous. I obviously didn't get called back. And then Dan was like, listen, go do Clueless and, like, come back in next year.
Yeah.
I went back and I did Clueless, and then it ended up being that I couldn't come back in because I was going to move to the West End with Clueless, which was amazing. And then I remember Clueless closed early.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do to my life? I picked up everything and I moved to this new country, and now my show's ending early. And I remember feeling like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to New York and I'm just going to audition for Wicked.
You know what? Yes.
That was the only thing I thought about. And I remember the second my show closed, I was like, okay, but did Wicked have auditions yet? I'm going to audition for Wicked.
Just call up the team like, hey.
I literally did. And I was like, I need to get in for Wicked. And like, I think I had a self-tape request and I had pneumonia, which was horrible timing
No.
because I was flying back and forth from London to New York to do a lot of like work business things.
And that's so hard on your voice too.
Oh, God,
just the
it was
elevation.
brutal.
Yeah.
And so I'm going back and forth from New York. I have horrible pneumonia, but I'm like, lock in. I get on antibiotics. I have the self-tape request. And I'm like, I think I submitted it like the day it was due. I went to London and my two friends, Isaac and Max, my best friends, they went with me to like an attic of a studio in London and we recorded it. And
oh my God.
I think I was on antibiotics and I was barely awake. And I was just like, okay, this is it. So I submitted it. And, you know, I went back in for Lisa, the director, and I was between countries and I didn't have all my clothes with me. And so I remember I got the in-person audition request and I was like, oh my gosh, I have nothing to wear. I need to find a dress. I went shopping all over New York City. It was the fall, so there was nothing pink. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to wear to Wicked?
Yeah.
And my friend Abby, I think I posted on my story, like, does anyone have anything that I could wear to an audition that's pink?
Yes.
And my friend Abby was like, I have got you. Her whole wardrobe is pink.
Love that.
And so she was working. I think she was like in a meeting and she like left 3 pink dresses in a Target bag outside her door. And then I wore her dress and I literally like, again, the generosity of the people around me, it's insane. So I go into the audition and Lisa actually says, she's like, oh, I love your dress.
Okay.
And I was like,
okay.
yeah, I'm so nervous. I'm like, it's not mine. Like, thank you
Abby
so much.
is a top tier friend.
Yeah, she really is. And I actually like, after I got the job, I was like, I have to own that dress. So I went and bought it.
Oh my God, yes.
But yeah, so that was my audition experience. I went in for Lisa and Dan again, and I did the packet, and I left, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how that went. Like,
did they make you dance?
No.
Love that for you.
No, not for Glinda.
Love that.
And honestly, if I'm totally honest, I was waiting for a call back. And I was like, is there going to, like, I was like, surely they'll call people back. And then a month went by, and I was like, I didn't get a call back. So I guess I'll try again next year. It wasn't meant to be, all this stuff. And then it comes to November, and then I get a call from my agent and I'm like, hi, is everything okay? And he's like, you're the new Glinda on Broadway. And I was like, no, I'm not. I literally was like, there's no way. Because I had been waiting to hear from them, like waiting for the next step, waiting for whatever. And I never did. And I just figured that so this is a message to all of you out there who think that no callback means that you are like, you know, lost. Because I was seeing people getting callbacks and I was like, oh, I guess. I don't know if it was for Glinda, but, you know,
but
for
they
other,
had just
for
locked
other
you in.
roles and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so, you know, it's not meant to be.
Right. No, they just saw what they needed to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and so I just think that was a lesson for me, and trusting, like, because we do our work and we overthink it, and oh my God, we drive ourselves crazy. We're like, I shouldn't have said that and I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And then you realize, like, actually you could have booked it. You don't know. And so don't judge yourself too harshly. I think this year has been all about, you know, being gentler with yourself and remembering what's really important.
Right.
And part of that was my audition process. So
okay, well, tell me the self-tape for the packet. It is so, like, when I am doing in-person auditions, you can just be fully present, let it go. What happened, happened. What didn't. You walk out, you just give that to the universe. But self-tapes, you watch it back, you play it back.
Yeah.
You have to pick a take. Like, and the Glinda stuff, I was talking to Mackenzie about this. It's like, you are not in the bubble, but you are presenting to the Aussians, the popular. There's a bed. There's like, how do you create that space within the confines of a tiny phone camera?
That's
you know
so
what I
funny.
mean?
I think partially it was that I didn't know Wicked very well before. That's a little embarrassing to say.
No, I
Not
love
that
it.
I didn't revere Wicked. I've always thought it was like incredible, but I didn't know like the ins and outs as much as the next Glinda.
Fair.
I'd watched, of course, some bootlegs, but I'd
Mhm.
only seen it once, I think,
Okay.
or twice maybe. And you know what, girl? I saw Mackenzie Kurtz do it.
See,
And that's
See, that's all you
I
need
needed
to see.
That's all I needed to see. And I was like, oh God.
She is that girl.
She is that girl. And I remember seeing her and being like, nobody does it like that. I just was like, she's incredible. I love Mackenzie. I'm a huge fan. And one time I saw her at the Gershwin and I totally fangirled. So,
And now people are fangirling over you. Okay.
oh, I can't even believe that. That's not even true. I'm like,
It literally
that's so
is.
crazy.
Okay, so let's talk about this. People are saying that you are Kristen Chenoweth, like reincarnated, even though
That is so
Kristen is
nice.
alive. How do you feel about this?
Kristen is fully alive and my mother. No, I'm so honored. And I have actually told Kristen that this is such an honor. I sent her a video being like, I love you. Like, and you know, I'm honored that people are even putting me in the same category as you. No, she created the role and I have like so much reverence for her and like admiration. I don't think I'm anything like her, but I like believe that so many people are saying it that I'm like, okay, it must be true. But I feel so different from her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She's just so funny. Like,
You're funny.
no. I know, I know. No, I'm
But-
just kidding. No, but
Yes, I
she's
know.
just so, she could literally stand there and people would laugh. And I just think she's got such a gift and she's also tiny. She's quite a bit shorter than me. So I'm like,
How
what?
tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Oh,
Do I look shorter?
you don't look shorter in a bad way. You
No,
just
but
look
people
like I
think-
would say you're like a solid 5'3". Like
No,
I'm
people think
5'2",
I'm shorter.
and I
People
was
do.
like,
I think it's because I got a big head.
stop. No.
No, but I'm serious. I'm sorry. I was just looking at
No, I love it.
No, I am so honored that people think that. I do think we have a similar cadence of speaking.
Fair. Okay.
And I think that she's just very matter of fact as Glinda. And I think I'm a little bit like that too. I don't know.
It's like you're very much your own person. And that's what I love to watch each character, that it's like you're assuming a role that has existed, finding the truth in yourself and
Yeah.
what you bring to the table rather than trying to like put a hat on it and be like what you have seen before. And that's probably like, I am not the casting director, but that probably is what worked in your favor, like not watching all of the bootlegs and being like,
Yeah.
I have to do this. You're bringing what you have to the table.
I do think that helped me a little bit because when I thought about Glinda, I was like, oh my gosh, she has to be like silly and off the walls and goofy. And I'm just not that. Like, I'm just different in that way. I think Glinda, as I start to have more fun with the cast, is becoming more like that, a little bit. I have to tone it down a little bit sometimes.
No.
But I think what helped me is like when I look at the story, you just say the words and you mean it.
Yes.
And like you tell the story. I know that's so like basic, but the director often comes back and she's like, just tell the story.
Yeah.
And it's about that internal life. And it's hard when you've watched something so many times to think about it in like a more internal way because you've watched it and you kind of can't help yourself.
Yeah.
And I even found myself like the more I would watch of people trying to learn the show, trying to listen to the show, to learn it, the harder it was to sort of organically find Glinda. What really helps me is when the director comes back and we do some scene work with her. It's always like keeping the tempo up.
Right.
And when we start bouncing back and forth, it'll surprise me the things that come out.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Like I feel every day like I'm doing the show for the first time and I discover so many things every time I do it, especially with Carrie, who's such a phenomenal actress.
Yes.
And all the actors are just so great. Carl, oh my gosh, like everybody I get to work with is so good that it's like if I just stay present with them, then my Glinda comes out because I'm listening to them. And it's like, honestly, people always say like, just literally be yourself and you will be her.
Yes.
And that was a hard thing for me to like grasp. But the more I just am myself.
Yeah.
And the more I'm just truly listening and truly responding, it's so basic, but the funnier it is, the easier it is, the more grounded it is. And so, yeah, I'm still learning every day. I don't even feel like my Glinda is fully realized and in like 3 months in.
That's
I feel
okay.
like people say this, they're like, you will still feel like you're working at the end of the contract. Like you will still not feel like it's done.
Right.
I love that about a job.
Yeah.
I do. I kind of feel like that's the dream is to keep working and it never gets boring because every day I'm like, oh, I got to, think about this and I've got to be present.
Yes.
And when you're present, you just can't be going through the motions. You're always, finding new things. And some days we're tired and some days we're, surviving.
But either way, it's still honest. You're bringing your full self to the stage.
Yeah, and maybe Glinda is a little, different that day because of whatever energy that you have.
She
And I
can't
think,
be peppy all the time. Listen.
yeah, I feel like when you're trying to be something, it's harder to access. But if you just allow yourself to be in it, I don't know,
Yeah.
like allow yourself to be in the story, then it just flows, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
it's hard to do.
And I'm
It's
sure
really hard.
Is it easier, not easier, but is it better to ground in and lock in with the different stage elements, like wearing the costume and having the lights? Like, this whole episode is going to be about Dan, but like, I'll go in and coach with Dan. And he's like, listen, he'll do mock auditions with me. And he's like, the way you just came in the room was frenetic. You're not like that in a normal conversation. You're way more grounded, but you put a hat on a hat when you get nervous. And it's like, how do you find a way or a means to lock in, get your 2 feet on the ground and let that go the moment before? And sometimes it's the elements of the stage that really help you. But if you're just in an audition room in Pearl Studios with the fluorescent lights, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, I almost have to treat it like a panic attack. I'm like,
Yeah.
performing is so anxiety inducing. And I think it's really easy to put a hat on a hat, especially when you're I can tell you're kind of like me, where you're a naturally up person.
Yeah.
And it's a really hard thing to ground yourself. I'm still doing a lot of work on grounding myself. Part of it is working with the dogs. That's been really grounding. A lot of it is rest.
Yes.
I think resting and taking time to be quiet and time to breathe. But I also have practical tools that, I've learned, like different breath work and stuff. For me, it's really like physiological, my energy. Like I get really nervous and then my breathing is fast and then my talking is fast. So less caffeine, more water.
I can't do that.
No, it's okay. Me neither. Me neither, if I'm totally honest. I think taking breaks too. I think that is a little bit taboo, but I really think we need breaks in life. And sometimes that means saying no to something outside of work, or maybe even taking a day off from work to just decompress. And because if you're going in and you're stressed every single day and you're bringing that energy in, Glinda's going to have a panic about her. So that was hard for me at first. I was coming in every day like, I, Emma, am so, I want to do such a good job. And I'm so anxious to do that it was like Glinda could be quite panicked. But the more I ground myself in my real life and I get my 2 feet on the ground, like you said, and so it's not perfect every day. I think breath work is really important. I love in for 4, out for 6.
Yeah.
I also love like doing like, there's 5 things you can see, 4 things you can.
Yeah.
So it's like things like that just to get present, but also just like chilling. And I love spending time with the cast. I love the cast so much. And I love my dresser, Kashish. And I love all the dressers. Leah, I love that dressed me. And Jessica, the alphabet dresser. Like, I just love talking to them and just being around people. And that grounds me.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your favorite outfit to wear?
Oh,
I have to ask.
Well, okay, I'm a little partial to the yellow.
Thank you for yellow. Thank you for saying that, because I think it's beautiful. And I feel like the yellow dress does not get enough credit.
I love the yellow dress. I love it because I feel really Glinda, but I also feel like myself. I love wearing yellow, and yellow is kind of my signature color.
Okay.
Like yellow is to Emma what pink is to Glinda. Like
hear that.
I love yellow. It makes me feel like bright and energetic and like myself. So I really love that. And I also love in Act 2, when I put on the thank goodness outfit, I feel like political. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I'm ready for Act 2.
Assemblywoman.
And Act 2 is just so well written, and thank goodness is so well written. I love putting on that dress and being like, oh, we're going to go do Act 2.
Yes.
Like, it just feels exciting.
I want to ask you more about how you take care of your health and sustainability for 8 show weeks.
Yes.
Like, what does that look like? What is in your dressing room? We talked
Yes.
about breath work. Are we magnesium? Are we vitamins? Are we steaming? Like,
Yes, we're doing it
are we doing?
all. Allergies have been a real problem for me this year. I have never struggled with allergies like I have this year seasonally. And I tried one medication and made me feel like I was on horse tranquilizer. And I was
No.
like on Reddit, like, has this ever happened to you? And, I think it's really hard. Allergies have been my downfall this season. But in terms of longevity of vocal health, I think having a really great team, getting a really good ENT, and having a really good teacher who knows the body and knows the voice really well and knows the physiology of, how everything works. And that can work with your ENT.
Yeah.
At this level, like when you're working on the Broadway principal level, because you're using your voice in such an enormous way, That's really important. People love Sarah Brown. I work with Matt Farnsworth. I also love Sarah Brown. I've never worked with her, but I've heard she's amazing. The last Glinda worked with her.
Oh, Allie.
Yeah, Allie. She's amazing. And I think I go to the ENT once a month, and that works really well for me. And I take breaks when I need it. For me, there's no shame in preserving your long-term health.
Heard.
Like, I will always take a show off if that's what's best for me. Not always. Sometimes you push through. I'll go into work sometimes and I'll push through a weekend because it's Sunday. And then I always end up regretting it because it's like, okay, now where am I gonna give and where am I gonna take? So I think the biggest thing you can do is rest.
Yes.
Rest your voice. Stop talking, which is really hard for me because I love to chat.
I hear you.
Sleeping, resting your voice, drinking lots of water.
Yes.
And not getting too reliant on prednisone.
Cheers.
Listen, I know it's hard, but try. I'm really culprit of this too, where it's like you can get reliant on something. I love bromelain. I think it's super great. And I love my nebulizer. But honestly, the best thing is water and sleep and rest and stopping talking. Like if you keep using it and you keep pushing through, that's where you get really struggle. And yeah, just like get more comfortable being silent. It's hard for me, but you know, I'm working on it. And I think dealing with your allergies, dealing with reflux is really important.
Yes.
I think going to the ENT is huge. Just go. Honestly, that's the best way you can take care of yourself because then you can see the cords and know that you're taking care of them.
Who's your auntie? This is for me. We don't have to air it, but
no, it's fine. I go to Rosemary Deloche.
Okay.
I love her. I've been to all of them, though. I love Dr. Pittman. I've been to Dr. Dahl. I know that people really like Dr. Salika. But honestly, I love Dr. Deloche, and she's been great for me throughout Wicked. And also Dr. Pittman and Dr. Deloche, they work in cahoots sometimes. If I couldn't see Dr. Deloche, she would send me to Pittman.
Perfect.
And maybe vice versa, I don't know. So yeah, it's really great. And there's so many great ENTs. We have the best medicine in the world and here in New York City. So it's so great. And if you have health insurance, even better, go.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
That's my 2 cents on your voice, I think.
Yay. I love that. He's asleep. Oh, I love him.
Love him.
Hey, what a good boy. Is he still sleeping by the door?
Yeah, he like got up and barked at the door I saw. But
okay, but
he got up and barked at the door and cried a little bit, but now he's sleeping again.
I love that.
So you know what? I'm so proud of him.
Baby boy, Scout.
And it's so much on these dogs. Like, it really is. But if you can get them to decompress, that's everything. If they start to sleep, oh my gosh, that's so good.
Oh my gosh, just like me. I'm literally that dog. Okay, well, tell me a little bit about your influences, people that inspire you, shows that inspire you, music,
Everything.
What comes to mind?
Oh my gosh. So I'm so inspired by all the previous Glindas, especially the mothers who have gone on and become mothers and are still doing amazing things. I look up to Katie Rose Clark so much, just as an actress, but also like as a person and a woman. I feel like I look up to so many people. I'm trying to think of people that I look up to. And I look up to the girl who played Glinda before, Allie. She's just a wonderful role model and cares very deeply about the world. I look up to my parents a lot. And I look up to my husband's parents a lot, especially the mothers. Like I look up to my mom and his mom for being able to manage, you know, being an incredible wife and mother and also having big careers.
Yes.
And doing big things. My mother was a doctor, and then before she started staying home, I'm one of 9 children. So she did.
What number are you in the order?
I'm number 3.
Okay.
So I'm the first girl, and then I have 5 little sisters and a little brother and 2 older brothers.
Oh my gosh, what was that like?
Amazing.
Yes.
I love coming from a big family. It's a fun fact, but also it was just like every day is a party. Yeah. And it's like kind of the best ever. I love my siblings so much. And I feel like we have this like army of support around us all the time. And I could literally, not that I would want to, but I could go through the rest of my life with no friends and just have my sisters and I'd be so happy.
Yes. I love that.
So I think that's a huge blessing. And I like, you know, hope to have children someday, you know, God willing. But I think it's just amazing to see women doing incredible things with their lives and their careers and like being great people. And that's really inspiring to me. Jennifer, who plays Glinda as well.
We love you,
She's constantly,
Jennifer.
we love you. She's constantly uplifting people.
Yes.
And she's a great mother and she does Wicked, which is insane.
Do it all.
How does she do it all? I don't know, but she's covered for me so many times when it was like the most inconvenient time ever. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm sick. And you have this like whatever. And she's so gracious and she's so generous. Like today I said, oh my gosh, I might need someone to come and sit with my dog because I don't know if he's going to be okay alone. And she was like, what time? And she's just like a really generous person. I'm inspired by people like that. And I think I'm really inspired by Joshua Henry. I know.
We're filming this the day after the Tony Awards. Just
I'm
to
really
say.
inspired by all the moms at the Tony Awards.
Yes.
And all the dads too. I'm really
Yes.
inspired by parents, specifically people who, not just parents, but people who live these but for me, that's so cool that they've built these huge, enormous careers.
Oh, just watching Joshua's process and talking about how he had to practice
about
the stare
failure.
and come down to me, how he's practicing behind the scenes
Yeah.
all the time. Like, you really do have to lock in and practice on your own, not in a way that is like giving yourself internal pressure, but
Yeah.
just him sharing his process.
It doesn't just come out naturally. That actually, it takes years of building to get there. He has been an enormous inspiration, I think, to everyone, but
Yes.
has been a huge inspiration to me, especially because I resonate so much with what he says about failure. And that is almost more important than succeeding, because it teaches you so much about perseverance and just his journey, how he was supposed to go to Broadway with Hamilton and then it didn't happen, and things happen like that. But now look at the glory that is his success because of failure, and I think about that for myself too. So many things didn't work out and I thought my life was over, and then it's look how big and beautiful my life is now, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm so grateful that it happened the way that it did, and I hope it's encouraging to people that I failed, for a really, really long time, and I was so scared that, am I doing this in vain? But you just have faith, and then, that's been so inspiring. Anyways, I'm so inspired by that, and all the mothers who won last night, and just there's some really good people on Broadway. There's some great people, and I look up to them a lot. Yeah.
There, I could talk about that forever.
I also look up to Dan.
Yes.
And Matt Farnsworth so much. I look up to both of them as people, very generous people, very big careers.
Yes.
A great example, Dan has a child. Dan is an incredible father. He's got this incredibly big, beautiful life, and he gives so much to every part of it. His career, his family, his home life, himself even. And it's just I hope he gives to himself. But he seems like he does.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just inspired by people who figured out that balance.
Yes, and being in service to something bigger than yourself. It's hard. We were talking about ego earlier. It's hard because from a pragmatic point of view, you have to know what your strengths are, and you have to look for that. But then you also don't want to gas yourself up or, be too critical of yourself. But just knowing what your strengths are and being in service to the industry and the community is so special. And seeing all of these people do that is
it's so great. You know what someone said to me one time that really helps me when I'm in a space where I'm oh my gosh, I'm nervous about myself. What are they, whatever. How can I make this other person feel more comfortable? How can I make the other person in the room feel more at ease? And I think we can think about that in audition rooms. How can I make them feel more at ease? How can I make this interviewer feel more comfortable and at ease? It's I think that's really helpful too when it comes to ego, is taking it, off yourself, because it really is about how you make the other person feel.
Yeah.
And I think we make, hopefully, the audiences feel great.
I think that you do.
Yeah.
I really do. What are the things that get you in a good mood instantly?
Girl, I love going on my tiny screen and scrolling. But do you know what I love?
What?
I just love animals, and I love watching silly animal videos. I love to watch just animals being silly cat videos, silly dog. That's so stupid, but it does make me really happy instantly. And I think also just joking with my friends, my silly friends backstage. And I think also gratitude, instant mood switch, being look at the things that I have. I'm so grateful. That always puts me in a better mood. No, but honestly, laughter, I feel is huge. And I think that is an instant mood switch. Just if you're in a bad place, finding a way to have humor about it is everything. And I think will carry you through that moment.
Agreed.
Yeah. And a lot of that is having great friends around. We can always laugh. We always can find a way to laugh.
I've been watching cat chiropractic videos. Have you seen these?
Yes.
I can't stop watching them.
Have you seen dog ones?
Yes.
Yes.
Because the dogs, I've got to do it here. The dog will get its back cracked and it just goes their eyes pop out of their body.
It's so sweet. Sometimes they're they've been in a lot of pain, and then they're instantly
and then they're just happy. They're good boys. Is there anything about the business side of theater that you wish you knew earlier in life? Or?
Yeah, there is. I wish somebody had told me about taxes.
Girl.
I think financial literacy in general. I'm just learning it now, and at my ripe old age. And I think if you're an actor and you're still in school or you're fresh out of school, get yourself financially literate and educated, and make sure you understand how to function when they come and they go.
Yeah.
So it's like you could be making a lot of money in one moment of your life and then be unemployed for 2 years. Like you
Yes.
just don't know. So it's becoming smart in a way that you're prepared for the ebbs and flows of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think diversifying your skills
Yes.
definitely is important, and being open to different mediums of acting and performing. Yeah, the business side is really hard. I think learning how to function is difficult, but I think also we're all just real people,
Mm-hmm.
and remembering that is huge, and remembering that like the people that you're so scared of are also just people.
Yes.
So that's been really huge. But I think financial education is huge, and I don't think we
Mhm.
get very much of it in BFA programs.
Not
And I
at
think
all.
even just learning about health insurance,
Yes.
basic things like that, that seems so, whatever, that's boring. That is so important, and it's going to define so much of your stability. So if you can
Mhm.
figure out a way to become wise in that way, that's my encouragement to you. I also I have finance people. So like I have a
We
tax
have
person,
people.
I have a
Yes.
bookkeeper. That's really important.
Yes.
Especially, if you need to outsource things. Like if you
Mhm.
don't be ashamed if you don't know how to do something, outsource. Like
Yes.
please go get a tax person.
Yes.
If you're nervous and you're on tour and you have taxes in every single state, get someone to do your taxes. It'll be
Yes.
worth it, and then you'll save yourself a lot of stress. I am the queen of outsourcing
I love that.
when I need to, and I
Agreed.
think it's saved me a lot of stress.
Yes. Because there are so many things, especially like expensing things off your taxes, depending on what kind of contract you have and how you're being paid out.
I
It's like
love that.
you would never even consider that some of these things do.
If you're an actor, you can write off so many things.
Yeah, write it off, baby girl.
And if, and people in the industry taught me about incorporating yourself,
Yes.
like making yourself a business. And at a certain point, you have to learn about that. So there's lots of different businessy things that are important. And I encourage you all to educate yourselves.
Yes. What keeps you grounded when life gets surreal?
Prayer, faith, I think is really important to me personally. I really lean on God a lot. I think it's got me through a lot of things, and it's connected a lot of dots for me and made me realize sort of the bigger picture of my life. That
Yes.
I'm not just here to like be a giant success, but like I'm also here to like love other people. Like that is my mission. And so I think it's given me in those moments where it wasn't all going my way, my deeper, like that had deeper meaning in my life that I think thinking about, because personally for me, it's Christian faith, but I
Mhm.
think for someone else, it could be something totally different. But I just think having some sort of higher power is really helpful in this industry and just in life to help you process like the highs and lows of things. And for me, it's God. And I think it's just helped me to know that I can glorify God in my life, even if I'm just quote unquote a nanny. But,
Yes.
there's so much purpose in taking care of this family's most prized possession, their child. And that maybe my purpose in that season, maybe that family needs me.
Right.
And that's been true in my life where a family really needed me and I was able to be there for them when they were going through a really difficult time. And that gave me so much purpose in a time where I wasn't working theatrically and I thought my life was over. But actually, like I look back on those times and I'm like, thank God I had that perspective, because it really carried me through and made me feel good in a different way.
Yes.
And I think my faith is really grounding, and I do go to church every Sunday.
Yes.
And I haven't missed a Sunday in years.
And
I
your
think
priest blessed your dressing room?
he did.
I'm
Father
obsessed.
Jonah. And my priests have been incredible mentors, incredible people to me. They constantly are texting me, I'm praying for you.
I love that.
I love a faith community. I love any community, really. I love my family. I love my cast. I love my faith community. I love my neighbors. I feel like I'm really lucky. I feel really surrounded by incredible love and support from all parts of my life. And definitely my faith community is huge. I love the churches that I go to, really.
Mhm.
And the people, even people on my team, one of them goes to my church.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's been like a really beautiful connection, and I think has just kind of deepened like, my love for them. And I think it's also, my faith gives me deeper purpose in everything that I do, like at
Yes.
work. Like, even when I go on stage as Glinda, it just feels like it has, because of my faith, like a much deeper purpose. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I love connecting the dots with serendipities. I just got back from my friend's wedding, and she had met her wife on the 4th of July, which was her dad's birthday, and he had passed away. And she was like, every 4th of July, she was so sad because she was missing
Yeah.
her dad. And something in her was just like, hey, go on this date, get out of the house. And that is the day that she met her wife. And she was like, I trust that this is all God's plan. This brought me to where I need to be. Every time I'm feeling low, like
Yeah.
you just take it outside of yourself. You listen to your intuition and you know that people are watching over you
Yeah.
in whatever way that means, to whatever
Yeah.
modality of faith that you have. And just like seeing so many things that it is like it's not a coincidence.
No, I think there are no accidents.
No
and no
accidents.
coincidences with God. And I think like even like my life, I'm like, oh my gosh, like look at how all these things are connected and how all these things wouldn't have happened without that other thing. And it's so beautiful, you know. And when you believe in something bigger than yourself, it's kind of beautiful and fun to see all the ways. Like I always
Yes.
say, like look at God's track record whenever
Yes.
you're nervous about what's next. And that helps me a lot. Like even not knowing what's going to happen next after this job, it's like, but look at how good, you know, God has been to me already. And I can trust that, you know, if all these things have happened, like something even more exciting is waiting on the other side of the unknown of life. And I think
Yeah.
that helps me. That helps me.
Grounded.
Yeah,
Yes.
ground.
Yes.
I hope I haven't been too woo-woo.
No, we love woo woo here. All sorts
Okay.
of woo woo. I'm all
Okay.
about it. I'm writing down my intentions. I am doing all the things. Like,
Yes,
I
I
love
just think
that.
like the more you can be in tune with like that, it's like the easier life is.
Yes. And so many people say, again, regardless of like modality of faith, that you have to be a little like delulu, allowing yourself to believe that you
Yeah,
deserve it and leading with confidence and leading with love, but also leading out of like, I am in service to something bigger than myself. And I feel like
yeah,
faith is like such a great way for you to ground in and get out of your own
totally.
head a lot of the time.
Oh, totally. I was gonna say something profound and then I forgot what I was gonna
No,
say.
story of my life.
Oh, you know what? My mother said this and she is right. She's like, I'm always, you know, because I'm a worrywart. And sometimes when I would get really worried about the future or whatever, she would be like, allow yourself to also imagine the best case scenario because you're only allowing this worst case scenario. But what would happen if you allowed yourself to imagine that actually the best thing is going to happen? Just picture it, picture both of them. You know, if you're going to picture the worst case, allow yourself to also picture the best. And it really, you know, helped me because the more you can meditate on the best case scenario,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the more at peace you'll, I think, be.
That's beautiful. I love
Yeah, go
that. Go
mom. Go
mama.
mom. I have a really great mom. She's the best.
Yes. Amazing. I love her already. How does it feel with people developing a parasocial relationship with you too? Like,
Uh,
I'm like, oh, I love your mom. I don't know her. Do you feel excited that like so many people are now getting to know you?
oh,
And
really? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's really such a privilege to be someone that people want to have that kind of connection with. I'm like, me? I think it's beautiful having people feel connected to you and like they can see parts of themselves in you and their journey in you. I think a lot of people can relate to sort of my journey here. And maybe they're in the part of their life where they haven't made it yet, but hopefully I can help them be encouraged that if it can happen to me, it can happen to them. So I think there's a lot of beauty in that. And I think I don't mind. I don't mind. I mean, you hope that people aren't crazy and they won't follow you home.
I mean,
And of course, some people are, but in general, it's a really amazing thing at Stage Door when someone says to me, "Oh, I've watched your videos and it really means a lot to me, you know, that you're a person of faith or that you are, you know, that your journey here was so long and, you
yeah,
know, things like that." And it has really a deeper meaning when it touches someone's heart like that. So,
that's beautiful. Okay, I'll end on two more things.
hmm
What kind of work are you dreaming about doing someday? I always hate it when you're doing a show and someone says, so what's next for you? It's
I'm
like,
so
let me
excited
just be
for
present. But
I am so present and I'm so happy to be at Wicked and I feel so incredibly blessed. However, I also can't wait for what's next. I feel like excited for whatever life has for me. I'd love to do another Broadway show. I'd love to do another show on the West End. I could totally
yes,
see that. I just got my 5-year visa
you got
approved.
it. Yes, global talent.
Yes.
love
So
that.
I'm so
Yay.
excited to potentially go back to London to do another show. I would love to do another new work. I love
Mhm.
working on new musicals so much and I love developing. So that would be incredible. I would love to do some screen work. I would love to do
Yay.
some
Have you
TV or
done?
film. No, and every time I'm thinking about like kind of transitioning over, then something incredible happens in my theatrical career, which I'm so thankful for. But it just hasn't been like the right time to completely dive in.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, one hand will feed the other. Surely,
exactly. And
right?
I feel so, I'm so happy that this is, I would never trade this. And I think this is just such a gift. And I'm really trying to like sit in the present of it. But I also am like, how exciting that the next thing could be something I'm encouraged by the way that life has happened. And I know that like, I just can't wait to see what happens next. And hopefully it's something awesome. But, I'd be just excited to do anything.
Yay.
So, yeah.
I love that. Yay. So many good things are coming for you. I can feel it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
And I hope I can do more work with the rescues that I'm working with. That's also a hope of mine. And
I'm going to put it in the show notes so people can find out more about it.
oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yes.
I'll send you a list of a couple of really good rescues in the city. And also, yeah, I just hope to become, as my career continues, to also be able to lift up these charitable things as well. Having this platform, but I also love being able to be able to use it. It's been so awesome.
You're so dreamy. I love it so much.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes. Okay. Last thing, and this is for me.
Yes.
Can you teach me how to toss?
Oh my gosh, of course. So
Okay.
I have thought so deeply about this because I don't know. At first I was like, how do you toss? Is it with two hands? So at first I was giving it a toss.
Yeah, I thought it was like toss.
Yeah, which I think is totally valid.
Okay.
And I think you can use like the front of your hand toss. Or you can even use, the back toss. But for me, I realized in my own life, like, I don't even use my hands. So I have a look ma, no hands, toss.
Let me see.
And I just give it a little toss.
Oh my gosh.
And then and like for me, it's just, it's more subtle.
Yeah.
It's more, I don't know, it's handsless. So
Well, it's like the cadence, the toss. Like that's very soft. So I feel like the toss would
so
be
you
soft
could
as well.
toss. I definitely think it's soft, and I think it's fast, and I think it's, I don't think it's too big. I think it's actually quite small. So I think it's like a little bit of a toss.
But your hair is also beautifully layered. So I feel like the toss fares well for
Listen,
this.
if your hair is too long, I encourage you to use your hands.
Okay. I look like I have a neck problem.
You know what, too? It's like, it's about the eyes,
Oh, I could do that. Like,
yes.
Hands out.
Because we're flirting. Like, we are out there playing the game. Yes, that was gorgeous.
Okay, I'll take it. I have to work on mine.
For me, it's just a little toss. And it's not about the hair going back necessarily. It's just about, like, it's gentle.
Okay.
That was beautiful.
I feel like I'm getting it now.
The
I'm
more
going to
you
work
do
on
it, the more I'm like, should I use my hands? I feel like it's...
But it can be anything you want it to be.
Yeah, it's about the intention.
It's about the intention.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I learned so much. I am so happy you came on the show.
Oh my God,
This
I'm
is
encouraged.
amazing.
That was like a good uplifting interview.
Yes. Yay.
Yes,
thank you so much
for having me. I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, oh my God, please. As long as your voice feels fine, that's all I care about.
She's good, honey. We're going to the ENT later.
Yes, Auntie. Yay.
I encourage you all to go.
Well, you can see Emma in Wicked through March. Great. Yay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
And that's this week's tea. I want to thank Emma for being such a beautiful, grounded person. I loved getting to talk with her about encouragement, mindset, trusting your path, and the very real importance of nourishing your heart and your spirit while chasing something big. I'm leaving this conversation feeling so empowered and inspired. It really does feel like a little bit of chicken soup for the theater kid soul. Emma is brilliant, kind, hilarious, and gives back in so many ways. I've linked her wonderful fostering initiatives in the show notes, and I am so happy to share that Scout has officially been adopted. But there are also so many pups still looking for homes, so if you're interested in fostering, adopting, donating, or just learning more, I've linked Emma's initiatives in the show notes. Take a look at those links and support however you can. If you enjoyed this episode, please do all the things I'm supposed to tell you to do. Subscribe, like, comment, rate, review, share it with your friends. We are still in the early stages of this podcast, and every bit of love really does help us to grow in this strange little electronic algorithm we all live in. More importantly, I hope that we could lift your spirits today. Before you go, stay tuned for next week. I will be joined by Peter Van Dam, partner at the TRC company, formerly Tara Rubin Casting. Peter is one of those people who genuinely raises my hopes for this industry. He is a champion behind the table, somebody who is deeply rooting for artists with credits ranging from Six and Phantom of the Opera to Beauty and the Beast and the Dirty Dancing Tour, and upcoming, something you may have heard of, the Spring Awakening revival. Ooh. All right, until next time, keep dreaming big, and I'll see you for the next cup of tea.